The IMF predicted the GDP in 2011 last year would decline about 1.4%, and that's what the government figures here are showing. The problem here is we look ahead. For 2013, the government predicts there will continue to be recession, a decline, a contraction of 0.5 point. But the IMF says that'll be 3 times more, that contraction, 1.5 points. So you're looking at a panorama that is not pleasant as we move ahead. And you've got, on top of that, the declining retail sales, the increase in the unemployment rate in the fourth quarter that went from 25% in the third quarter up to 26%, nearly 6 million Spaniards unemployed, about 55% of the Spaniards under 25 unemployed. Everywhere you look, a very dismal outlook for this year. Nina?
So what does this mean in terms of the prospect of a full-on Spanish bailout? Will they eventually have to ask for financial aid? Because everybody said the Eurozone crisis is almost behind us, if you like.
Almost everybody, as you know, Nina. Now, there are some people who have said Spain has taken advantage of the breathing room. The markets have been easing on Spain. The 10-year bond yield is down in the 5% range. And the government has said repeatedly, they're asked almost every day, and they say, not now, we'll take a look at it if we need to. But several analysts say that as soon as there's the next trigger and the next sort of panic that is pushing the pressure on the Spanish markets and their ability to go to the markets and get funding, which is so far they have been able to do in recent months at a fairly reasonable rate, a high rate but a fairly reasonable one. When that goes south, then the country may indeed need to get that bailout. And you've just seen that one of the prominent regions of Spain asking for 12 billion euros this year from the government's liquidity fund. That's Catalonia's capital is Barcelona, northeastern Spain. That's almost twice as much as what they asked for last year. So you've got the 17 regional governments also heavily indebted, weighing on the national debt. Nina?
Well, I was just going to come to the issue of Catalonia asking for that bailout just on Tuesday, Al, because doesn't that raise the prospect of more regions in Spain asking for financial help from a government that just can't afford to give that kind of money out?
Well, we already saw that in 2012, that of the 17 regions, I think it was 11 or 12 of them had asked for funding from the Regional Liquidity Fund from last year, basically using up almost all of it. So where is the government going to get that money? Here in Parliament, just in the last hour, you had a senior politician from Catalonia telling the Prime Minister, we need to ease those deficit targets in the regions. The Prime Minister responding, no, the deficit targets are set. We're all trying to row in the same directions. You, the regions, have to do your part and bring this down. But you've got a lot of tension there. And, of course, you've got, just last week, the regional parliament in Catalonia passed a resolution that some say could lead to a referendum on independence. So you've got that political pressure on top of the economic pressure, a very difficult cocktail to drink right now for the Spanish public, many of whom are out of work.